Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's section of reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. This should be on the YouTube channel, James13 Wicca. I will be putting the dice and the decks I'm using below. Other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's also below, same email. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the reading you chose. Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Cancer? Which way are we going? Oh, I like that. Okay. I'm just not gonna ruin the whole reading. Not gonna ruin the whole reading, but it looks a little dicey in the beginning. It's not bad. There's a really unexpected great outcome coming. So hold with me, because I feel like at a couple points it's gonna look a little like, oh, like, oh, it's itchy scratchy. I'm telling you. Hold on with me, because I feel like some of this is going to make you nervous. Let's also remember, watching the reading doesn't make it happen. It's either happening or it's not. It either hits or it doesn't. I'm just saying. So there's been a lot of information. Like, I think whatever this is, and it doesn't have to be romance. There are some love cards coming, yes. But it doesn't have to be romance. It could easily be a work situation or something else. There's definitely a social connection here. You know a lot. You know a lot about people that are not being the most upstanding. Let's say that. Upstanding in a situation. Not the most upstanding. I don't want to be super pointed. You may have your feelings about that, in the sense of like, well, you might have your feelings about that. That's your business. They're just not the most upstanding about certain situations. It is what it is. This is more about where this is coming from. They have also had fallout. Something in the past. I see somebody doing something, it's not the best. And then they get fallout for, it's almost like they got fallout for something else, and it's kind of like, well, even though it's unrelated, they kind of had it coming, even though what they did wrong, they didn't really get caught for that, but other things kind of backlashed on them. They kind of, maybe not for what they got it for. They didn't maybe deserve it for what they got it for, but they did kind of deserve it. It seems like it's one of those things going on here. You seem to be just kind of here. I don't know where to say. You know a lot. We're just talking with the situation. They're like, we're just centering that you know a lot. That's the point in this reading. We don't need to go crazy. Okay. As we've moved forward, whatever has been going on has created a lot of changes. That's already been happening, already been going. It's not like change is coming, change is here, and you're in the middle of it. I don't think it's upsetting for you. This is one of those changes where it's been coming, but it's also kind of like, well, yeah, I would like to see the people I love be treated better. And the way this is going, it's kind of like, there's some changes, we're already here, but the people I love are being treated better. The situation is going better. So I feel like you're kind of like, hey, it's going where it's going. It is what it is. But you are like looking at the positive, kind of like, there's some things here that this needed to go better. It's going better. I don't think you're letting yourself get caught up in the how we got here. I think you're just kind of like, this is going better, and at the very least, we need that. Especially when Cancer, I think Cancer is a very family-oriented. When you have very close friends, they tend to be more like family than friends. in my opinion. That's how I understand Cancer. So if there's people like that are family to you, and it's kind of like, oh, there's been changes here, but right now, the people I love, I feel like they're safer. I feel like they're getting better food. I feel like they're getting better accommodations. I feel like they're, things have upgraded for them. That's what I feel like. Yes, I want better things for the people I love. And it makes you feel more safe and comfortable, kind of like, all right, how we got here is how we got here, but right now, things are going better. Okay. You're doing your best with it. I do see you kind of ignoring things that I feel like is best to ignore. You're not highlighting things that's kind of like, listen, yeah, I know there's fallout back there, but we don't live there anymore. I'm not going to keep going back, rehashing pain. We went through that. We did what we could with it. It is what it is at this point. I'm not willing to go back there. I'm not going to live in that. You're ignoring things. I hate to say it, but I do believe what you're ignoring. They're saying yes, that's a very positive motion, because if we keep holding on to that stuff, it's just going to drag things down right now. If it's going to be healed, it'll be healed later in a different way. That's not what we're doing right now. Just because certain things maybe need to be healed doesn't mean that's best for now. So they're saying you're making smart moves with that. Good moves with that. There is other healing going on here too, by the way. Other people might be sorting out problems without your connection to it. And I also feel like, yeah, good, because I don't want to clean up that mess anyway. Clean up your own mess. That's cool. That might be a part of this too. Kind of like, I don't think I need to deal with that. Other people are cleaning up their own messes. They're straightening up their own life. Yeah, they should. That's good. I'm seeing good outcomes here. I'm seeing good things happening. I'm seeing a good result here. I like that. You don't need to be dragged through the mud. If somebody else made mistakes, they should fix it themselves, and that's okay. I feel like this is good. We're liking this. For some of you, maybe that's part of this reading, saying, maybe there's a little bit of guilt, like, should I be more involved with that? Should I be helping more with that? You're doing the right thing. Leaving it and having them take full responsibility for things that only they can fix, that's good. For right now, that's good. You're doing good. You're doing really good with this. I'm not a Sunshine Rainbows reader, so I hope it doesn't come off like that. For right now, though, I feel really good about this. I feel really good about this. You're going to be surprised at the next movement forward. It's not bad, though. It's just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Now, the type of surprise I'm showing, or been shown here, kind of like visiting somebody and they totally redid their whole interior of their house. It's kind of like they had maybe a lot of beige and browns before and certain things up on the walls. Now it's all like blue and tan, or it's like blue and something. It's like it's different, and everything's different. There's new furniture, there's new things on the wall, there's new pictures, maybe the same people, just different poses, different blah blah blah. And it's kind of like maybe they've tried a different cuisine, they've got different ways of making different types of food. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. It's not bad, but it's kind of like I wasn't expecting that. And it's also kind of like, I don't feel like it's your flavor, but it's also kind of like, well, it's their house, if you follow me. It's kind of like, this is how they want, this is what they wanted to do that. That's their living thing. You're like, okay, I get to go home to my own house and I feel better. I want to go home now because this is jarring to me, but it's fine. It's not bad. I'm not saying anything is bad. It's just kind of like, oh, what's happening here? There's a way to handle that might serve you better. You decide what's right for you. I'm thinking of somebody who's a Cancer, and I've seen them do this. To me, it's funny because they've done it to me sometimes, where it's kind of like, oh, that's a choice, or they say something where it's clear that they don't like it, but they're trying to smile, like, oh no, that's a choice. That's one way to handle it. That's one way to handle it. Another version of this is realizing that whatever this is, it's positive. It's good. It's somebody owning their life. It's somebody making their own decisions and owning their decisions. So the fruitless win here is just kind of like, I am so glad that you did what you wanted in this space. So instead of going, oh, that's a choice, kind of going, I am so glad you made this what you wanted it to be. Even though you're not really vibing with it, or kind of like, even though maybe you're like, I wouldn't have done that. I don't think it's a hazardous or bad choice. It may be just one like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. It's fine though. Just kind of vibing with it. I'm glad you made this what you wanted it to be. I'm glad you're happy here. And kind of like encouraging them to make the choices that work for them, because they're owning their choices. They're creating a positive life going forward by doing their, and like, hopefully I'm saying it the right way. Kind of like, I'm so glad you own this and you decided and you made what you wanted to make. I'm so happy for you. I feel like the same person I'm thinking of, they have done this, and I've seen them do this, and I've also known how they really felt. So that was a whole nother thing, where they'll see something and they'll be like, they'll highlight something that they actually genuinely do like, and they'll try to like build off of that. And then they'll like highlight that, and then they'll just kind of move around and move away from like talking about everything else, and they'll create a new energy. They'll highlight something they genuinely like, and then they'll go into some other thing, and they'll just kind of let it be. And it's a very positive moment, because like I'm not trying to promote you to like pretend that you like something you don't like. I'm not trying to go that direction, but there's probably something here that you can like, oh, this your house is so clean. It always is, and I love that you decided that you like that, and I love that color blue. You might, the rest of that thought might be like not everywhere, but you don't have to say that part. I love that color blue. You don't have to say not everywhere. Y'all know what you need to do. Y'all know what you need to do. I know you do. There's a lot of healing here, a lot of positive energy. I think I already said that. A lot of positive energy, a lot of healing. You got the Friends card, and you got the Three of Cups. There's a lot of positive energy, a lot of community energy here. You are allowed, I don't know why we're saying it that way. You are allowed to negate other people's negativity if you want to. Two negatives make a positive, right? Is that how that works? I know you are able to negate other people's negativity. Like if somebody's being rotten and you kind of block that and kind of shut that down, or you are allowed to do that. I don't know why that's coming in that way. There is some random energy here, but this situation is going into the Ten of Cups. It's coming into a power moment for somebody else, and they want you to be there with them. So it may be a power moment for them initially, but it's something you could be pulled into, something you could enjoy too. They want to include you, and I do feel like you want to be included. This card here is telling me if you're included in this, I do feel like you want to be, and I do feel like this could bring a lot of happiness for you. With the negating, that if other people are negative and Cancer negates that out, is there anything that they had to be aware of? I just don't want to set anybody up for like disappointment. You know, less is more. Actions speak louder than words. We don't need to get into a verbal fight, so it doesn't need to be that. If you need to say something to shut something down, that's one thing. But then actions speak louder than words is what I'm also getting. Or finding a way to just get somebody to just zip it. Move them out of the situation. Thinking of the same Cancer again. I've seen them do this too. It hasn't been a lot, but sometimes there's somebody around them all the time, and that person can be super negative. And when they start, they just go, and they're like, well, we got to go, to get that person who's negative out of the situation. So that way they can't spread their negativity too much. That's a version of it too, to kind of like find out, it's a way to zip it without creating an argument. Not that you have to zip it, but to get them to zip it. You know what I'm saying? Just because I want this to go smoothly, and I want you to have everything you can enjoy here. Because I just keep seeing the same thing. We don't want to create a whole sparring match here. That's going to be counterproductive. We don't want to do that. If we need to say something short and sweet to shut it down. If that doesn't work, let's move it on out of here. take it with a grain of salt. Readings are for entertainment purposes only. You know how people are. You know how the people are you're dealing with. You know, life is, there's so many different personalities out of there, so it depends how you need to handle that. I just don't want to set anybody up. I'm just worried about that. I don't want to, you know. Hopefully I gave enough information. You know how to handle certain people. Think about the people you're dealing with when you've wanted them to go away or remove. How has that successfully happened before? Repeating that should work to your favor. Okay, that's the best I can do with that. It's a general read. There's a lot of people watching. You know what I mean? Especially if you start doing that more, this might be a whole new phase for you. If this works in this situation, I feel like we want to bring down the stress and highlight the positive changes. The more you can get into that pattern of bringing down the stress and highlighting the positive changes for somebody else, this situation just flourishes that much more and lasts that much longer. You got the Star card with the confidence. There's more than one way to handle a situation, and it doesn't always have to be verbally. It can be by action, by example, by moving problems out of the way. Peacefully. Peacefully. I don't know where, peacefully. Do that what you need to do. Peacefully. This could start a whole new trend for you. Is there anything else I need to say with that? There's things here where you might be really helpful for somebody in more of like the aftermath. By handling this a certain way and everything we've talked about, this might, like, without literally telling somebody you feel confident with them or you're proud of them, and you might be doing that as well. I'm not saying don't. I'm saying if you do that, that's fine. But the action thing either will back up what you've already said or may just help somebody feel that they're doing well and they're making positive changes and they're doing better. It's the actions speak louder than words in this situation. Because it seems like you want to like build them up. Even if you don't agree with what they're doing, as long as it's not harmful, you want to keep that positive energy, that empowered energy moving. This could be a great thing. And again, they're including you in their success, and I feel like you want that anyway, so it seems like it's going very well. Are we there? All right. I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.